Hi, how are you? Welcome back. This is my channel. I am Anne. I am Reiki practitioner, spiritual life coach, healer, goddess, worshipper, shaman. I don't know. Put me a label if you want to. But I love this is what I do. This is my channel for tarot readings and sharing my channeling or knowledge of everything and anything what I have gone through, and maybe I can help someone. So this is all about triggers and how to deal with triggers. There is no right or wrong way to deal with triggers. I keep saying to everyone, we are all different, but there is something what you might take, what might resonate with you, and you might take it with you. Triggers. Okay, let's get to the point. There is 3 types of triggers, okay? Triggers are either traumas from the childhood, okay? There are triggers or any kind of post-traumatic stress can cause a trigger. Bad relationships, any kind of traumas are usually the cause of a trigger, okay? The other triggers are, well, probably the most hardest trigger is a past life triggers, or is a karmic triggers, what have come to us from our past lives. And if anyone don't believe that, that's okay, and you can click out. But I'm going to still talk about it because it is a big part of it, of our human soul's journey. And the third trigger is actually more like a family karmic trigger or ancestral trigger. It is what our parents have put it into our subconscious when we grew up. You know, this kind of, we have some social limitations put it into us while we grew up, that certain things can trigger us. Like for me, it's eating with the mouth open. Just like, it just triggers me because I've been told we're very like, close your mouth when you're eating. It's limiting belief. Eat however you want. If you want to be a pig, just eat then. You're like a pig, but just not with me. So these are the triggers, and these are the 3 triggers, and I'm going to tell exactly now how to deal with these 3 triggers. So the trauma triggers are probably one of those triggers what we can do the most of help by releasing them. Most common trigger in what would be a trauma trigger would be post-traumatic stress type of a trigger. So it could be you feel hungry, it comes with a wave of emotions. It comes with emotions of codependency, sadness, fear, and anger, definitely anger. And like anger would be anyway. So if you feel, let's say, I'll bring an example. And this is going to be a very bad example because I'm not very good giving examples. So, bad example. I'll bring it actually from my own life. So when I was dating, there is this thing about ghosting, and I kind of in my mid-30s, and ghosting would be for me like, like grow up in that way. But I still would feel abandoned and refused, or it caused me a lot of anger. It made me really furious and mad, and I couldn't figure out why. It's like, I'm not really clinging on that man. I don't really give a 2 hoots. He can go off. He's an emotional baggage anyways. He's emotionally mature. He's not who I want to be with, because I don't want a man who is not emotionally mature. Simple. So why am I triggered by this person, and that person is ghosting or just branched out of my life, and I waved at him, off you go, but still getting triggered. So that's the kind of a thing when I went in That's the trigger. So I meditated. One way you can do is meditate, and you can go really, really deeply in. And I'm getting stuck here now. So one way to do it is meditate. So what I did, I actually went for a run because the meditation didn't work. I could be meditating, and a lot of you would be finding it's like you find your peace and calm, and you go with deep within you, and you're like, it's not your fault. I'm not holding on to that person that strongly, and you still get triggered. So most important thing is, first thing what you need to do is figure out the emotion, okay, on the trigger. You're obviously not clinging on that person, but that person is triggering you. It could be a co-worker, okay, who is just arrogant. It's like he's chauvinistic. Has these tendencies, and you're like, I don't cling on that person. I don't give a shoots about this person. I don't care about this person. Why is this person triggering? Why am I carrying that weight at home? And you're like, you're meditating, but the main important thing it is, you just have to find that emotion. What kind of emotion that person is triggering for me? Okay. So go back to that dating thing. And I figured out I couldn't meditate on it. I was home, and I was doing Reiki, and I was doing yoga and all the kriyas, and I just couldn't reach there. I was like, I do not know or understand why is this person triggering me. So what worked for me is for very strong physical activity like running. For me, that is a strong physical activity. I just went for a run, and and I got the emotion open. Okay, so any type of if you're very good at meditation, and you can go with very heavy kriyas and like Kundalini yoga, where you're really moving your breathing in and out very strong, then you open that channel of emotions, and they can come up, and you could be face slapped with sadness, with a lot of things. For me, it was a lot of anger and feeling abandoned, or feeling resentment and being left behind and feeling not good enough. And then next thing, I had this visions coming with, hang on, it was my last boyfriend, like, and I went on and on and on until my first ever love. When I was, my first ever crush, and when I was 12. So, and feeling that I was even resented there. And then I had to heal that 12-year-old and say like, no, you got lucky. So it's just, but like, to kind of get to that trauma trigger, we are a lot of times, because when I was 12, that was really traumatic for me at that time. My first ever crush, okay? There was school bullying involved. There's a lot of things involved. Another time story. But that point there, to get to that, like, that was a big trauma there when I was 12, or whenever you have, like, if you're gone through a car crash and you're just terrified of the cars, and your subconscious mind and your conscious mind clocks off that subconscious part of it, and you would never go in. And sometimes we have to do some physical activities, breathing, to trigger it, to get in there, to release that, okay? If it's very severe trauma, and you can actually pinpoint it, actually, this is the car crash when I went through 2002. I nearly died. Don't do it alone. Get help to do that. Okay, then you need a bit of psychological help, or counselor's help, or professionals' help to do that. So I wouldn't really recommend to do it on yourself. But if it is something like, for me, it was a bit of a crush thing, and the ghosting, and this dude is just triggering me, and I'm like, fuck, flipping off, then obviously I could kind of, and I got that to that point, and I released that energy I could actually go through the rabbit hole to heal it, and it's something magical. If you're going to get to that point, you're going to go like, haha. It's like a lift, weight has lifted off your shoulder. But like this is would be if it is to do with the trauma. Sometimes the triggers could be past life triggers. Again, I'm going to bring an example of my own life because I'm not very good at making up stuff. So for me, one of the trigger is I'm scared of horses. Like, it's silly. I adore the horses. When they're against the wall, there is some barricade between me and the horse is same level as me. Fantastic. I can pet the nose, I can give a cuddle, but do not bring that horse out. Okay, that's in one of those kind of, or a deep dive waters. Again, I freak out, and I have been swimming since I was age of 4. But I can swim, I'm a great swimmer. But if I have to go way under the water, I totally freak out. I don't think I would ever be able to scuba dive, or maybe if I do the scuba diving, I could be fantastic. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But these are something like I'm never, like I said, I'm never really horse riding. I don't mind the horses, but I just don't want to bring them. These kind of phobias, and triggers, but you can't really face it. Again, a lot of people would be scared of fire, or they freak out when they see fire, especially if you're an empath. A lot of empaths in past lives during the witch hunt were burned on the stakes, like we're just the witches. So there's a lot of these type of triggers are actually coming from our past lives. And the only way to trigger or fix the past life triggers is through past life regression and hypnosis, and then you do need someone professional to help you to do that, okay, who have also understanding of past life and past life regressions. So it's not that you go to hypnosis and say like fix it. They probably can fix it, but you might start to, when someone claps twice, to walk. So be very careful who you go into hypnosis. But that's one of the kind of a point that those triggers cannot be fixed by just jumping into a snake pit and saying hallelujah. It's not going to happen like that. You need to kind of go back and heal that part of the past life. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people could be going to me, no, you don't have to, you can fix it this here life. That's fantastic. But I found it that the best way is to understand why that happened in your past life. Why have I carried this weight of fear with me since? And how can I release it? And understanding on the past lives, or having like this kind of a past life regression, you are kind of coming to these terms with it, and you're able to move past those triggers. These are actually most exciting triggers for me. I don't like the traumas, because I love the quantum fields and the past life things and the energies coming from the past life to kind of to meet my past, because every time when I meet my past, it makes more sense who I am in this lifetime and where I'm heading on my next lifetime. So I can start to actually shape my new form for next lifetime as it would be. So that's one of those fantastic things what I like about the triggers from the past life. Sorry. And the third one is the ancestor karmic triggers, and that's what is our parents have put it into our subconscious mind, and this is kind of comes from a family line. Now these ones are actually, I'm taking myself back. The karmic ones are not that hard. Yeah, you need the help, you need a past life regression, but the limiting beliefs and limiting triggers, what we have been carried on from our parents in our subconscious mind, they are the ones what are most surprising for us, let's say that way. Now, hang on. I'm just going to go grab a tissue. My nose is still... So by age of 10, you have to remember this fact. By age of 10, we have around 120,000 limiting beliefs put into our subconscious mind by school, by ourselves growing up. You know, there's like children to be only to be seen, not heard, stuff like that. And just things, these old-fashioned beliefs, or I like to call them patriarchic beliefs, where we are moving into this, where woman's place is in the kitchen, and all, you know, those old sayings, and we are very connected to this because these have been going around for a good 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years, since the Bronze Age and since the patriarchy took over. And to shape these out of our environment and out of our subconscious, it's very, very difficult. It is much more difficult than any other triggering things because it is beliefs that have fundamental beliefs. Like, these are so deep within ourselves that to release them, it's a hard and heavy job. And a lot of times, even if your subconscious and conscious minds are coming together, that this doesn't serve us, this belief doesn't serve us, a lot of times you will end up, and you kind of release that energy there. You might find a day when you're buzzing around like a busy bee, and then you crash for 3 days because you have worked cellular level to release that energy, and it's your body has to reshape it as well. It's the new part of the brain where things are starting to change, and literally that has been me for the past 3 weeks, where I have changed my money attitude towards money, my perspectives about the money, my beliefs about me and myself and my money, and it is draining. It is very, very draining, but it also can be a very shocking. In a lot of ways, our religion or Christianity or Catholic, Lutheran, or whatever you want, anything to do with Bible, it's very rooted because it has been around for such a long time. And even if you don't believe in God or any kind of a religion, you still find yourself doing things in like socially acceptable way, and the socially acceptable way is usually following by guidance of the Bible or some kind of religion's zone. And it can be, if you figure it out, hang on, I'm actually doing this for myself, and I don't believe this is something what society has told me to do because they think that's true, then trying to change that, it always comes with a big massive grief and disappointment of your environment, and you will face some disappointment and grief from the environment around you, like your family, your friends, who still grasping in that belief because it's in their subconscious mind as well. So these are the hardest or most dramatic ones, I believe personally, to release. Those triggers are very, very heavy. Example, again, from my own life. I have always had a thing against institutions, and it could be in school, it could be a big corporate, it could be social welfare. Like, I was in there today and I'm like, I hate to be in here. I am not a socialist. I want to be free. I don't want to get money from government and stuff like that. But they're not my enemy, actually. They're there to support me, but just that I could get that. So I figured out that it's past life trigger, and it's something what I have been embedded, that I always have to be 5A plus student, or that I always have to fit into some kind of a form, and if I didn't fit into that form, I wasn't good enough. And I am I am actually fantastic, and I didn't need that institution that much. They supported me on the goal, but I have to let go of them, and that's a part of this kind of one of my letting go of things, or that you have to work so hard to earn money, and the only way you can make money if you're getting a job and have a social security. And that's again because our parents would have been depending, and especially me coming from Estonia and Northern Europe, where we lived on the Soviet Union for a very long time, and that income was very, very in communism, and it was very where people were hanging on to, and you take this kind of subconscious beliefs with you, and they're hard to shift because they're your core beliefs, even in the subconscious mind. Even if you don't believe in them, I don't believe in communism, and I don't believe in socialism. I guess capitalism, I don't know, not really, not into that either. But again, I don't need a label. Label it however you want to. Leave a comment below if you want to label it. I'm not really into it. But that's the kind of a thing that letting go of those beliefs. It is tough going job, and it's tiring, and it comes with a part of a grief. Now, I have been yakking for 21 minutes. Thank you so much for joining. I hope it helped you. If you want any more tips and things and whatever, leave a comment below and I will get back to you. And thank you so much, and I hope to chat to you soon. By the way, the full moon readings are coming up tomorrow. Bye!